Unless you've been in a cave or without a pulse for the last year, you will have heard the phrase Russian collusion. You will have heard phrases such as the dodgy dossier if you switch on the television, your social media feed, or open a newspaper. But what does it all mean? So many controversial statements and allegations and paradoxical news reporting and counter-arguments. Well, let me give you my perspective as somebody who worked in the White House as a deputy assistant to President Trump and helped untangle the latest reports coming out of Congress in Washington about what all of this means. Number one, let's remember, Russia mucking around in other people's democratic elections isn't a new phenomenon. In fact, you can say they've been doing it for 100 years, since the Russian Revolution of 1917 that created the Soviet Union. That's what they do. And let's not forget that the current president of Russia is a former KGB colonel, and the KGB is exactly the organ that would have been doing that. So to say this is a new phenomena is, of course, ridiculous. But were Russian agents in trench coats really stuffing voting ballots into ballot boxes across America? Of course not. What do we know? We know that a former MI6 intelligence officer, Christopher Steele, was paid a lot of money to compile an opposition research dossier on candidate Donald Trump, full of salacious stories you'd find in a penny dreadful novel, stories that we now know actually came from Russian government assets, disinformation stories that were used by the Democrats to undermine candidate Donald Trump. This was so important to them that Hillary Clinton and the Democrat Party paid more than $12 million for that dossier. Not bad work if you can get it. But that's not where the story ends. The federal government later used the same dossier and actually paid money to Christopher Steele, allegedly just for expenses, but that's enough. And that completely fabricated set of allegations was used in a secret court, the FISA court, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court, to obtain warrants against the members of the Trump campaign, Carter Page and others. Meaning, the federal government under President Obama used Russian disinformation to spy on members of an opposition candidate, Republican Party candidate Donald Trump, during an election year. What else do we know? Perhaps most damning of all, and we'll find out a lot more after the congressional decision to release a memo on all that the Congress has found about the exploitation and perversion of the American intelligence community. That file was used by James Comey. He briefed the new president, President Trump, on the allegations. And after that meeting, he leaked that briefing to his friends in the media. And that leak of that meeting was used to create the Office of Special Prosecutor or Special Counsel, another former FBI Director, Robert Mueller, to look into these fake Russia collusion allegations. And for a year, we found nothing. But what we now find, with the release of text messages between senior FBI agents, is that political bias was rampant under the Obama administration's Department of Justice and FBI. And individuals responsible for investigating a true crime, Hillary Clinton's use of a private server to transmit and store top secret information. Well, the people handling that investigation decided the outcome before the investigation was executed and wanted to see Hillary become president. That's very serious. There's a reason that America never created its own KGB. It doesn't even have an MI5. It doesn't have an internal security service. That's a function of our revolution against King George. But when you find out senior government officials in law enforcement and the intelligence community are using lies to secretly spy on people they politically disagree with, well, that's against everything the Republic stands for. That happens in a banana republic or a less democratic country than ours, but not in America. So, hold on, put on your seatbelt, because the next few weeks and months are going to get very, very interesting. This is Sebastian Gorka with the Gorka Briefing. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the rest of my videos, please subscribe to the Rebel Media YouTube channel. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter @SebGorka. That's SEBGORKA. And if you like this video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter, because the fake news industrial complex has been lying for far too long. And with your help, we can get the truth out.